Mother, the Supreme. Bonjour, bonjour doucement. Is everything all right? Yes, mother. You had told me on my birthday about the Supreme. But mother, for me, you are the Supreme. My child, that is saying the same thing in one way or in another. What? You do not understand? No, mother. Look here. In fact, it is the same thing. There is no difference. If it is the Supreme who has chosen, or it is I who have chosen, I prefer to say it is the Supreme instead of me. You know, it is like this. In the terrestrial evolution, man, who is emerging out of the inconscience and ignorance, is guided by the Supreme. And the Supreme, in order to manifest his reign upon earth, labors to uplift the human consciousness so as to establish the divine consciousness. And for this, he does not delegate someone, but he himself manifests physically, even in the ignorance, to accomplish his work. And it is I who have been appointed to raise up man and the creation out of this inconscience. It is I who am responsible. What I wish, the Lord also wishes. I am the Supreme in the unmanifest. But in the creation, the Supreme acts only through me, exists only by me, and wills nothing but what I will. There is no distinction to be made, but for men, the Supreme is someone beyond everything. In his transcendence, who cannot be attained, he who is above ignorance and does not concern himself with anything. For them, I would rather say that it is the Supreme who has done this or willed this. I do not want to meddle with their idea of the Supreme, because if I said that it is I who had done this or had wished so instead of the Supreme, then it would be like a disaster, a shock. People with their ego would not be able to accept that the Supreme could manifest in the inconscience. It would seem to them a folly. It is for this reason that I avoid speaking of myself, and I prefer to use the word Supreme. To me, it makes no difference, and moreover, people remain convinced that it is the Supreme who is guiding them. But mother, for me, you are the Supreme. I do not know anything else but you as the Supreme. It does not bother me if one calls me the Supreme or not. It makes no difference to me. I know who I am. I do not crave for big names like an egoist. What I know is that the work advances and what it is I am trying to prepare, and not what will add to or aggrandize my name, so that men call me the Supreme. I wash my hands of all this. I do not need it. I am very happy like this. As long as men are convinced that it is the Supreme who had done this or that it is He who protects them and guides them, it is fine with me. I do not want to interfere in all this or to proclaim that it is I who have done it. For in reality, it is the same thing. I do not want to force people, if it pleases them, to state that it is the Supreme who acts and not me. What difference does it make to say it in one way or another? For me, it is like this. But for you, it is different. I am the Supreme for you. Yes, Mother. It is He who in His transcendence upholds the universe and is immanent in the creation, who resides in the smallest atom, one who is responsible for the terrestrial evolution and its manifestations, for lifting up to the light and ananda. But I cannot proclaim it to the people that I am the Supreme. People will not be able to accept it. She, as the Supreme? How can that be? It is not possible. For them, the Supreme is someone who is unimaginable. I do not know if for them He is without any form, or that which cannot be attained. They will go mad if they think in this way. The ego will not be able to accept it. That is why I prefer to say that it is the Supreme who wished thus, and never pronounce that it is I who have so wished, or I who have chosen. I tell you, it is by choice that I choose to remain behind the veil. Do you understand? Yes, Mother. Well, you know, I will tell you something. In those days, when I used to give special blessings for the puja, Durga, Mahasaraswati, etc. At that time, Durga and the others used to come to me. Besides, they used to meet me from time to time. They came by turns, and even now they come for some work or the other. And I do not know if it was last year or the year before. Moreover, time has no importance for me. In fact, there is not much difference since I have stopped giving blessings for the pujas. Anyway, it was close to the pujas, and as usual, Durga came to me. She was so beautiful and formidable, like all the other children, but it was an entity which possesses the cosmic force. And I told her, shall there be no end to these little entities? And is it not time to turn towards the Supreme, leaving behind the little personal egos? Then you know what happened. Something marvelous and unexpected. In a humble gesture, full of gratefulness, she abandoned everything to the Supreme in such a joyous and spontaneous atmosphere, which cannot be expressed in words, but has to be lived, to be seen. And she told me, yes, I am thine completely. What thou willest, I shall do. I give myself to you. And she prostrated herself at my feet. It was a complete surrender. There was no hesitation. It was so beautiful. It is since then that I have stopped the blessings for the pujas, because it is no longer necessary. It is over once and for all. Oh, in such a fine act, such a charming gesture. It is only to the Lord that we send our adoration and gratitude. The Supreme alone and nothing else. That chapter is over. The reign of the cosmic gods. Now only the Supreme exists for us, nothing else. And then there was another meeting earlier. That was a long time back. It was when I used to visit the playground. One day, Durga had come, and I asked her a similar question. How long do you want allegiance from the people? Isn't it time we adored the Supreme? Then she told me gently, I do want to. I am thine. But you see, the people cling to me and do not want to leave me. They are all like that gesture, that which goes to aggrandize their egos, that which still wants to follow the past and the little bit which satisfies them, that they will never abandon even for the Supreme. It is man who does not want to change, because he does not want to lose his possessions and his ego. It is man who creates the distinction. You see, truly, she wanted to work for me in an act of surrender, and she was completely tied up by the people who adored her and sent their prayers for their personal gains and nothing more. Men do not want to give up, as they do not want to lose their support and their ego's satisfaction. They cling and obstruct the way. But from this beautiful experience, something emerged. I could get some work done in collaboration with her. It was the New Year prayer, which I had written the prayer that nature will collaborate, and so on. You know it? Yes, mother, yes. It was in this way that slowly she could abandon herself completely. And now we have no need of these pujas. She has become one with the Supreme, and it's the Supreme alone whom we adore. Now she has entered into me. You understand? Yes, mother. But there is still the resistance in other countries and in the religious entities, which I am trying to transform. But here it is finished. But no one will understand what it means exactly. They will twist and deform it because it is beyond their conception. They cannot imagine such an event, that the gods could surrender to me. It is something unimaginable for them. It is all right, my child. For you, I am still the Supreme. The message given by the mother for the year 1958. 1958. O nature, material mother, thou hast said that thou wilt collaborate, and there is no limit to the splendor of this collaboration. The mother.